Hello and welcome. Today we're not just going to talk about saving for retirement. We're going to talk about how to actually engineer it. We're going to look at how you can build a truly reliable, durable retirement paycheck, one you can count on month after month, no matter what. So let's dive in and look at the actual blueprint for building that machine. First things first, we have to talk about a huge misconception that I like to call the iceberg illusion. It's so easy to look at a big 401k balance or your savings statement and feel pretty secure, right? But just like an iceberg, that balance you see, that's only the tip. The really important part, the part that's actually going to support you for decades, is what's hidden underneath, the reliable monthly paycheck that pile of money can safely generate.
So I really want you to ask yourself this question. See, the goal isn't just to stack up a big pile of cash. The real goal is to turn that pile of cash into a predictable, sustainable stream of income. It's a huge mental shift from asking, how much money do I have, to what kind of monthly paycheck can this money safely and reliably produce for the rest of my life? They are not the same thing.
To figure that out, we need to take a look at the very foundation of your retirement plan. Now, for many hardworking professionals who have a pension, this foundation is built on a few core pillars. But, as we're about to see, there's often a really critical, kind of dangerous gap hiding there in plain sight.
Okay, so the first two pillars, you know these guys well, Social Security and your pension. For so many people, these form the bedrock of their retirement income. They're the checks you expect to be there no matter what happens. And they will be. But, and this is the big question, will they actually be enough?
Well, here's the hard number. For most folks, when you add up Social Security and your pension, it typically only replaces about 60, maybe 65% of your income from right before you retired. Now, don't get me wrong, that's a fantastic start, but it's definitely not the whole story.
And that difference creates what we call the supplemental income gap. You can see the problem right here on the screen. There's a whole pillar missing. A 35 to 40% shortfall that you, personally, are responsible for filling with your own savings. That is, if you want to maintain your current lifestyle in retirement.
Now, trying to fill a gap that big is already a challenge, but it's made so much harder because while you're trying to build that bridge to retirement, your savings are constantly under attack from three major invisible headwinds that can cause permanent, devastating damage to your plan.
And here they are. First, you've got market volatility, where a big drop in the market at exactly the wrong time can just wipe out years of savings. Then you have inflation, the silent thief that just quietly eats away at your future buying power. And finally, future taxes, the great unknown that can take a huge bite out of your income right when you need it the most.
Let's just zoom in on that tax headwind for a second. This quote really says it all. A lot of us use plans like a 401k or a 403b to defer our taxes. But with our national debt soaring, many economists believe that tax rates are almost certain to be higher in the future. You could just be kicking that tax can down the road, only to have to pay way more later on.
So, the big question is, how do we fill that 40% gap and defend against those nasty headwinds at the same time? Well, we do it by engineering a fourth pillar for your retirement, a personal pension solution that's designed specifically for protection and predictability.
This solution is called an index strategy, and the concept is actually pretty simple, but it is so powerful. Your money is linked to a market index, like the S&P 500, so you get to participate in the upside when the market goes up. But, and listen, this is the most important part, if the market goes down, you lose zero. Nothing. Your account is completely protected by a zero-loss floor.
I know. Right now you might be thinking, that sounds way too good to be true. But this isn't based on hope or some kind of market speculation. It's based on simple, powerful math. Let's actually look at the mathematical proof of how this works.
Okay, so that purple line you see, that's the stock market. That's how a typical 401k behaves with all its wild ups and downs. Now, look at the green line. That's the index strategy. Notice what happens during those big market crashes, like back in 2008. The purple line just takes a nosedive. The green line, it simply goes flat. It loses absolutely nothing. By mathematically eliminating the losses, it just ends up in a much better position over the long haul.
So the natural question is, right, how on earth is that even possible? How can you get the upside without having to suffer through the downside?
The mechanism that makes this work is called the ratchet effect, and it's as clever as it is simple. Think about a ratchet wrench from a toolbox. It clicks forward when you tighten, but it can't slide backward, right? That's exactly how this works. Number one, your account captures a portion of the market's growth.
Number 2, that zero-loss floor means when the market crashes, your credited interest is simply zero. And number 3, all of your gains are automatically locked in. Your account value literally ratchets up, but it never ever falls back down because of a market downturn. So when you put it side by side like this, the choice becomes pretty clear, doesn't it? A typical market strategy gives you great growth potential, sure, but with zero protection from loss, and let's be honest, a ton of stress and panic. An index strategy gives you strong growth potential with 100% protection from loss. And what does that give you? A much better emotional experience, peace of mind. But it's actually even more than that. This strategy is kind of like a financial Swiss Army knife. The main blade is that protected growth engine for your retirement income. But it also includes other tools, like family protection through a death benefit, and some really powerful health protection with flexible living benefits you can access if you get sick. And it's all housed inside a tax-advantaged structure. So this is really all about taking back control. It's about moving from being a passenger in your retirement plan to becoming the engineer. It's time to secure your future paycheck.
Because when you combine this protected growth engine with that multi-purpose safety net, you create a complete, robust retirement architecture. You can finally stop relying on hope and start relying on the certainty of math.
If you'd like to see exactly how these numbers could apply to your own personal situation, you are invited to schedule a totally complimentary retirement review and future paycheck preview with Jeremy James Stewart. You can book your review directly at zoom.pension-review.cc/book, or if you prefer, you can just call or text 734-724-6448. I'll just leave you with this one last thought. Forget all the numbers for just a second and just ask yourself, what would a reliable, protected, and tax-advantaged retirement paycheck really do for your peace of mind? That is the feeling that comes from engineering your retirement, not just hoping for it.